Need you loot? Yes, you do. Why do I know that without even looking over to the left side? Easy, everything else goes a bit slower whenever I approach that button. Which is an easy to identify sign, especially if you have been doing the same thing for a while. Now I'm going to set everything up, nice and proper, just how it should be. Then we shall play game. And, well, I kinda already know what is going to come along, because I know that next part. You see, I have a bit of a system. Whenever I plan to play something like this, I do one of two things, either A, I do get my own notes, which are usually some haphazard kind of thing. It's basically just like, go there, talk, hit this, make this, so you know, you have a basic overview of where you're supposed to be going. And it serves the purpose so that you don't miss out on quests and stuff. And then there is, well, games where I don't have that, and I usually look for a, well, basic guide that I can follow through. But then I have somewhat of an idea what is to come. Because most of the time, you know, you kind of want to plan that out a bit. Otherwise you're gonna end up with something horrible. And you go here. You go here. Everything gets a nice little note. Now, all of that nonsense goes there, and then we shall go here, and then I will have to go to the other window so I can actually see. Because ever since that nonsense, I am not much of a believer. Now, you might be wondering where the fuck even are we at this point. Rightfully so. Rightfully so. Because I have moved while you weren't looking. You know, not the fine and gentlemanly ways, but again, I suppose because I was kind of like, why do I still have a scroll of evidence in my pocket? That doesn't make much sense now, does it? No, but that makes a lot of sense because I haven't given it yet. Now, you might remember that there is a guy, Byron Pickett, was a bit of an asshole, a criminal asshole in this case. Kinda got that woman almost sold into slavery. Nice person, isn't he? And we kinda have a scroll full of evidence that will make sure that he gets his just ending. Yes, very much so. But of course, in order to achieve that, we actually would have to give that scroll to somebody who is willing to do that. Now, the Justice Department in this case, in the case of Sigil, is mostly the Harmonium, and as you might remember, we have a friend in the Harmonium, in Corvus. Now, how does this friendship actually come into play? You see, there is a woman around here, Karina, who likes to talk a lot. If you think you're more typical women, like to talk a lot, then yeah, take that, multiply it by a bit, and you have a little Karina. Still, she's a nice person, generally speaking, you know, even if she's maybe a bit annoying. And the little Corvus, he had a bit of an interest in her, and he kind of was under the wrong impression that she had a lot of people just waiting, you know, to get into her bench. Which we didn't inform him was not the case, so he kind of got together, and now he's all happy and peppy with us, and he's like, you friend. No. I have a friend in high places. Good. It means I can go here. He smiles at your approach and gives you a slight bow. Hello, friend. I hope you're doing well. See? We're friends. Well, let's start with how are you and Karina doing? I'm doing well, thank you. I have a kindness friend. See? Well, we are good friends here. So I have some questions. Do you know somebody named Byron Pickett? He frowns and nods his head. Yes, I'm familiar with Byron. What can you tell me?
My journal.
Officially, nothing. Good. Pause for a moment before answering. Unofficially, he is suspected of being behind most of the criminal activity here at the market. We believe him to be responsible for the murder of a merchant named Zack. His list of suspected crimes is quite long. Anything else?
My journal.
Yes, I would not turn my back to him, and I would think twice about being anywhere alone with him. That is all, friend. What would you say if I were like, I have some evidence that proves he is involved in criminal acts here in Sigil? Looks at you with interest. I see this evidence. Sure.
Updated my journal.
He examines the papers thoroughly, and upholds them, and puts them away. He nods to you. and smiles. Excellent work, citizen. These documents are quite detailed in their content. I personally will see to it that Baron Pickett is taken before the courts. He salutes you. Intensive. I shall return shortly. He soon returns and smiles at you. The deed is done. Pickett has been removed from the streets. The evidence has been presented to the courts. And soon, he will stand trial. She gives you a slight bow. Once again, thank you. My pleasure, indeed. See, I kinda wanted to finish this because I kinda forgot to do it last time. Because we kinda ended up going into the siege tower and getting all talky with that giant iron golem. In case you have no idea what I'm talking about. Well, fair point.
I'm gone.
Very fair point. Go back and just watch that episode. It should be on the YouTubes, I believe. Yes, it should be there. And with that, we basically have done in the lower wards everything we can do for the moment. I mean, technically speaking, no, there's a bit more you can do, technically speaking, but it is not stopping us. Where we are going to go now is namely the Clerk's Ward. And, yeah, I kinda saved myself that because the Clerk's Ward is where a very special building is. And there's actually another companion that we can pick up. Two, technically speaking, if you get the requirement to get one companion here, and you can find another companion here. There's a reason why I have been kinda bit careful now. This game, like many of its kind, does take its conversation rather seriously, and this area is full conversation. There's lots of talkies going around, and especially that one companion is kinda in a building that can give you a lot of nonsense. We shall endeavor to find out more, I suppose. This is going to be a lot of work. But alas, what can I do? We shall first do what we usually do. Explore the area so we can actually see what the fuck is going on. And then we shall find out. I do this because I too need to reorientate myself. Get home to under siege. Because even I don't remember the complete structure of the maps. Not by heart. I've played this game a lot to this. I do remember certain things, and when I read up on things, I'm kind of like, huh, okay. That's where that was. But some things just have a tendency to stay with you. Believe you me. I know that. Curious looking building, to say the least. Yeah, that's one way of saying it. Curious indeed, isn't it? Curiosity should be the apothecary, art and curio gallery. I see. The olden times. Ye olde times. Not a bad time at all. No, where is what I expect? Where are you hiding? Where are you hiding? Yeah. There it actually is, the brothel of slating intellectual lusts. You might be, like me, a bit confused when you read this sentence and be like, huh, wait a second. How precisely is this going to work? I mean, I'm pretty damn sure I don't need to explain to you what a brothel is. It should be rather obvious. What exactly a brothel for slating your intellectual lusts, however, is. That is something a bit more special. Put it mildly. Everybody wants to speak. Yes, but I don't want to speak with you just yet. I actually have things to do, places to be, and people to meet. First and foremost, I need to find a certain someone. I think it's you. I know that you're at one of the outside cafes. A tall, slender woman, sipping wine from a small ceramic cup. Appears to be looking for someone. Her facial features are elegantly exotic. The woman's ears, though partially covered by her long hair, can be seen to come to sharp points. Boy, it's an elf. Ugh. Woman turns to face you, violet eyes flashing like flawless chips of amethyst. Her speech is as music. You can hear a faint musical tinkling under tiny crystal bells as she speaks. Each word lingers in your ears as if they were unwilling to relinquish the exquisite sound. Namil turned to face the scarred, though stranger. She asked what he wished of her. Well. Stop your drooling, you leering skull. My, what a hot-blooded little shit. Starved for attention, I could rule over you too, if you're just jealous. And water starts floating towards Anna, making wet, slavering noises. Get a ass, breath closer, skull. See to it that not shattering these lays within 100 paces of another. Much of the property, turning away while muttering unintelligibly. You're Nemele. I was told you know the commander word for this decanter. The woman makes no move to touch or examine the decanter, but only speaks. Nemele took it from the stranger, turning it in her hands. Had she seen it like before, she thought? Perhaps. Yes, she remembered now. She returned the decanter, whispering into his ear as she did so.
Updated my journal.
You realize you know the word now. Nil de no sai, though you are certain the woman never whispered to you, but merely said she did. She blinks at you. What does the stranger leave her now? Satisfied with what she had told him. See, I never you thought before that elves are a bit of an annoying, pain in the ass kind of species. Let us widen this a bit more and go like, maybe it has something to do with the pointed ears. Maybe, just maybe, people with pointed ears are just generally assholeish. Annoying. Or like, look at me. It's dripping. I can see your narcissism dripping. In spades. Not just yet. Are you looking for someone? Where could she be? Nemele wondered. Her companion, Elwyn, was supposed to have met her here days ago. The woman sighs miserably. The air around her grows chill with her sadness. How long must she search this vast foreign city before she finds her dearest friend? Oh well, okay. Though technically speaking you helped me free of charge, so I'm kinda feeling a bit of a need to help you too. Even though you're just going by your friend's name and yourself. Probably elves, and I will regret doing this, but I could help you find your friend. What does she look like? No, and I will not even ask you for money because, well, come on, I have an assload of money, A, and B, she did kinda help me free of charge. Nemele claps her hands together, bows her head to you. She would be so pleased to hear news of her friend. She told a kind stranger what Elwyn looks like, that he would know her, should he come across her. An image forms in your mind, a woman who resembles Nemele, with golden eyes and hair of fiery crimson. I'll return and find her.
Updated my journal.
No. The interesting thing is, elves are stupid. Honestly, I believe this with quite a bit of passion, and I shall prove to you that my instinct when it comes to this is absolutely right. Look at that. Or you might be like, wait a second, isn't this another bar? It is indeed another bar. It is indeed another outside bar area. And Nemele is just sitting at this bar, and her friend sitting at this bar. And none of them actually ever came to the conclusion that maybe, just maybe, after waiting for days for the other, that just maybe there was, you know, a misunderstanding or another place like this. Pain in the ass. This tall, slender woman occasionally looks up from her cup of wine to scan the surrounding patrons and passerbys. Her facial features are elegantly exotic, and her eyes, a brilliant gold in color, catch the light, sparkling as she looks about. Greetings, salutations, all of the nonsense. Regards you carefully for a moment before replying. She speaks slowly and carefully, avoiding direct eye contact with you. I, Elwyn, return your greetings. Elwyn, your friend, Nemele is looking for you.
Updated my journal.
She begins to smile, but then covers her mouth with her hand and looks down at her drink. I, Elwyn, am most pleased to hear of Nemele. Might I, Elwyn, persuade you to tell her of this place? I guess I'm gonna take this as part of my agreement with the original contractor, so yes, I'll do it.
Updated my journal.
She looks at you directly and, for just the briefest of moments, before she casts her eyes back down to her drink, your senses are awash with a warm, comfortable feeling. Pure happiness. Ah, Elvin, thank you. That's my pleasure. May I ask you about it though? The way she speaks and what her words do. How? I, Elvin, can only say that we come from another place, another world. Not like the people here, whose words, thoughts, very feelings even, affect nothing directly. Go on. I, Elvin, take great care so as to not affect those around me too greatly. Emele, she's new here, cannot do so. It's something she must learn, should we choose to remain here much longer. But why? There are many reasons. I, Elvin, feel it is not right to impose reality upon those without the ability to impose their own reality upon me. Elvin. Well, is there anything you cannot do by simply speaking of it? She groans. A strange, unpleasant feeling rises in the pit of your stomach. Please. Hi, Elvin, speak of it no more. Oh, alright. I have no reason to really piss you off. I got an achievement. Probably for being good, I'm assuming. Where's my alignment? Neutral good, yes, I've become good. Now there's a very easy way to get evil. That is by using the book of Pestilent Thought, I think it's called. The Grimoire of Pestilent Thought, which makes you very, very evil, very, very fast. Pretty nice, actually. Drunken Mage. That is not a good combination of words. Emele held her breath as the stranger approached her. Had he found Elvin? She wondered. I found Elvin. She was looking for you too.
Updated my journal.
And Emele's lips form a perfect smile. An infectious happiness radiates from her, clinging to you like sweet-smelling warmth. Emele was overjoyed to hear of a friend. Was Elvin close by? She said another cafe, east of here, across this part of the ward. Emele thanked the man for his wondrous news. Soon she would go visit her oldest friend. Elvin. Now though, she would reward the stranger. I know, you actually already rewarded me. I need no reward. I'm going to touch his index finger to her lips, making a faint hushing noise. She would draw the stranger close, laying her hand upon his chest, kissing the pale leathery skin of his cheek. Life would flow into him, invigorating him. This, then, was to be his reward. So basically a very uncomfortable boner you're trying to give me there, eh? As you wait, there's a light tingling sensation upon your cheek and chest. The feeling spreads across the whole of your body, and you begin to feel stronger. Animated. My maximum HP have gotten bigger. Thanks. I had some questions. But could answer none. Farewell then.
Knowing the teachings of Zerthamon, I have become stronger.
I have become stronger because I, the only true reader of the teachings of Zerthamon, have told you about the unbroken circle in its perfection. Good little Raccoon. Now we're going to get a companion that is interesting. Many regard him as a bit of a meh one though. And I too tend to drop him somewhat
Alright.
fast later on, but for the moment we shall pick him up and be very happy with him. He's another nice addition and he has a tendency to do, well, certain things. Things like this. Standing around burning is a bit of basically what he tends to do.
Alright.
Now, you might be like, how are we going to solve this situation? We will not solve this situation at all. We will, however, make use of our newest little addition. As you might remember, we have learned of the decanter's password. And that is a decanter of endless water. Now, if there's anything that can get this crackling, burning, billowing creature to stop being a burning mess for a second and actually, you know, do something a bit more reasonable, and I guess an endless amount of water is pretty much all we can do. I wonder if this decanter of endless water will do something. You tilt the decanter over the grill and begin to pour. A small stream of ice blue water pours from the decanter and touches the flames of the grill with a violent hissing and a rush of steam. As if in response to this challenge, the decanter seems to lunge forward, falling onto the grill and shattering. Later else, hissing billows of steam and a furious crackling noise rushes from the grill, spilling over you and forcing you to cover your ears and turn away. There's a scream, a cackling, a terrible sound like 100 buildings burning, people screaming, their screams being cut short by the roar of flame and melting flesh. Cover your ears, block out the sound. As you put your hands over your ears to block out the sound, you feel a stickiness to your hands, like hot cheese or candle wax. Your ears are bleeding from the sound. You draw your hands back and see them covered with chunks of melted flesh, filled with bloody swirls. Try and get out of the bar. You're about to run from the bar, anything to get away from the sound, when suddenly all falls silent, except for a jagged crackling coming from the grill. You turn. The grill lies the decanter of endless water, or nothing but shards and steam. Above it is a creature, flame still trailing from its body, floating over the bar's floor. It is staring at you, its eyes flickering like two torches. I know you. Yes. The creature's face splits, charred flesh peeling away from its jaw so that it might speak. Its voice crackles, burns, roars through the creature's chest. With every word, flakes of cinder and ash spit from its mouth that drift into the air. I barely stand to look at the thing. The blazing radiance surrounding it is terrible to behold. Ignis!
Long have I slept, dreams of flames.
Hmm.
I am yours, till death comes for us both.
Ah. Yes, he's floating towards me, bending from the thermal surrounding it. Flames curl within Ignis' throat. The tongue of flame streams from behind his blackened teeth. I am yours, till death comes for us both. We shall see. Dudum-dudum. I have a new fan. See? Now we need to talk with him, of course. Actually, is this a good way? Actually, if you are still with us, so to speak. First, let's start. They're gonna switch me over to Mage, because I think we can actually learn something from Ignis' memory source. Teachings, can you teach me? My corporation resume the study of the art. Can you train me?
I feel stronger. I feel stronger.
Now let's talk to Ignis. Alright, let's start there. Ignis, I spoke with a storyteller in the Hive, and he mentioned that someone taught you these things. Who? Of learnings and teachings, you know. Words of flame erupt from Ignis' mouth in a horrid semblance of laughter. We've always talked Ignis. Ignis Master, you were. Are you sure about that?
Updated my journal.
Ignis' voice drops, and twinkling of the flame. That's yes. That's the only reason Ignis obeys you. Flames rise around him in a crackling spiral. Till death comes for us both. Your words to me, to your student Ignis. Ignis is not forgotten, master. He's a pain in the ass. Let's put it like this. Ignis, if I was your master, can you remember anything about me? Features flicker. I think it's flames, but it's not. It's a flicker of memory. Surrender to the memory. Let's see what we learn. Crackling of Ignis' flame subsides, lessening as the charred bones of Ignis' body fold up, twisting into itself until his limbs lie motionless, forming a stack of wood within a huge iron fireplace. You are staring into a fire, burning brightly within a vaulted room. The fire crackles and spits embers onto the stone floor, motes rising from the fireplace. Faintly, from the darkness behind you, you can hear the rasp of someone breathing. Memory, I can hear you. Step into the light. As a shuffling of sandals and a full youth steps into the edges of the firelight. His wide black eyes catch the flames and mirror them. He's nervous. You can hear his muscles shaking, voice trembling. Just enough to increase your irritation. Give my intrusion, Master. I You have already intruded, supplicant. You did so with intention. I will hear it now. Then you will leave me to my thoughts. Boy takes a deep breath and glances at the fire. Master. I dreamed the flames again last night. Felt real. You said that you were to come you with. It was a dream, nothing more. Now leave. The boy does not move. His brows draw together and slowly space his hands. The flesh around the fingers blackened, burned. How did your hands come to be burned, supplicant? I awoke and my hands were as ash. The boy meets your gaze. He's still trembling, faintly, but there is an eagerness in his voice which angers you. I dreamed I saw it above the earth. The ground and sky were as fire. The world itself was so bright that it hurt to look at it, master. When I awoke, my hands, they were burned, as if I had held a flame within my hands. You lie, supplicant. Come to me with a story. Now you are in danger of angering me. No, master. The boy's face glistens with a sweaty sheen of fear. No, on my life I do not. Quench yourself with a candle, supplicant. Thrust your hands within one of the pyres and the fault of currents. Now come to me and tell me a dream burned you. Tire of your lies. The boy falls silent. You are surprised his face clenches in anger. No, I do not lie. It was the dream that burned me, master. You said it might if you felt the power stirring. They were your words, and I came to repeat them to you and tell you they are true. He holds up his hands. Look, master. Grab his hand. How the boy can react. Your hand, huge in comparison, lashes out, crushing his burnt hands in its grip. The boy screams, echoing in the vault. By a snarl, you hurl him to his ground in front of the fireplace. There's a sharp crack. His knees strike the flagstones. Look into those flames, supplicant. Raise your head. Look. The boy is shuddering from the pain from his knees. You watch tears blur his eyes as he raises his head to look into the fireplace. The flames cast his face in a red, gaunt glow. Is that what you wish to hold, supplicant? The shaping of flames what stirs your heart. Other flames can burn, and if you would learn their power, you must suffer their touch. The boy is silent, staring into the flames. He seems mesmerized. His tears have dried in the heat, and the shaking is gone. Flames are his focus. He's not listening to you, and you feel fury washing over you. That is what consumes you? Enough for you to intrude my meditations. I shall teach you of the shaping of flames, supplicant. Hand lashes out and clamps onto the boy's wrist. He holds as you drag him closer to the fireplace, and thrusts his hands into the coals. There's a crackling, a hissing of burning flesh, and his screams. Such terrible, yet... To learn, you must suffer, supplicant. You must allow yourself to be burned by the power, that which you wield. Now it's torment. You shall know how to use it against your enemies.
Updated my journal.
Your vision clears, the memory streaming away like smoke. Ignis is hovering above you, his head cocked to one side. Insane, blackened grin smeared across his face. Master, Ignus, has not forgotten your teachings. I see. No more talking questions. Silence. I guess if we are nice and be like, I wish to speak of flames and of burning, it's probably going to talk. Yes. Words are like oil. You watch them fill Ignus' eyes. Fanning the flames, you see there. Flames? Speak, Ignus will listen. Ignus, your mastery of the art. Can you teach me any of your powers? That would be interesting. Ignus once knew much. No longer. Ignus burns and suffering. Ignus learns. Tiny flame gusts from his mouth like laughter. A stream of ember spits forth. Suffer, learn. I'm willing to suffer for such knowledge. As you are about to speak the words, you feel a crawling sensation in the back of your skull. You are suddenly struck with the certainty that the knowledge Ignus has to teach will permanently scar you. You don't know how you know this. Repeat, I'm willing to suffer for such knowledge. Suffer. Flames flicker eagerly along the edges of Ignus' mouth, spiraling up along the melted ruin of his face. Burn. Pieces of self are burned away. Ignus may still teach much. Well then, Ignus, can you teach me some of the art? Your flames once burned, one may send them again. Can react. Ignus' claw lashes out. Touches your finger. With a greedy he burns it. Without a searing pain, you close your eyes and scream. You force your eyes open to see the burning mass of your hand, where Ignus touched it. Floats above, uncaring, cradling your finger, and snaps the tip off, leaving just the base. He pisses cinders and ash drifting from his mouth. He flicks the charred remains of your finger back to you. What did you do?
Updated my journal.
Teachings. Sound now strangely painful to ears. To learn, one must suffer. I wish to learn more. Suffer? Can you teach me some more of the art? Yes. Touch your left hand, and with a mad cackle and with a greedy he burns it. So simply close your eyes and scream. Close your eyes open to see the burning mass of your hand. Only blackened stump remains, twitching blood streaming from it. Ignus seems oblivious to your pain. His attention is devoted to your severed hand, which he is holding, admiring it like a trophy. Ignus, give me back my hand. Ignus ignores you. You watch as flames from his hands encircle your severed hand like a wreath, slowly burning the last remains of flesh from it. Like a sculpture, till only the fused bone remains. With a long low hiss, then flings his creation back to you. Manage to catch it in your remaining hand. You notice the flesh of your severed hand is reknitting itself, slowly, painfully. Looks like it's regrowing. What did you do?
Updated my journal.
Teachings. Painful way of getting teaching done, I would say. I mean, it's worth a lot of XP, but it's painful anyway. Oh boy. I wish to learn more. Giving a single flame of tragedy races. No more. Pieces of self are burned away. Ignus. Yet no more sharing will Ignus teach. What about my eyeball? His finger's like a spear, but he doesn't strike for the eye that you can remove. Instead, he impales you. Of course, it's the other eye, isn't it? There's no pain for a moment, only surprise. Then you scream. Ignus lets loose a stream of flames into your socket. They seem to eat into your skull. The hiss of burning flesh fills your nostrils, and smoke clouds your vision. You force your eyes open through your bloodied vision, yet only one eye opens. You can barely make out Ignus hovering in the air in front of you, his hands cupping a small orb of flame in his hands. Your eye, seemingly untouched by the heat. Too much. His hands cover the eye. You feel a second burning pain in your eye socket. And suddenly, even though the searing pain, you can see correctly again. He opens his hand, and within it, you can see the ruined mass of your eyeball. Barely recognizable, yet your eye still in its socket. He cackles. With a breath of flame, your eyeball rises from his grasp and drifts over to you, like a flake of ash in the air. Take the eyeball.
Updated
Your
my
eyeball.
journal.
Tiny snakes of flame swirl from Ignus' ruined sockets, traveling up past his charred skull. More teachings. The two snakes of flame circle around behind him. Tis a Verwunderung. Can you teach me any more? Well, you need pieces of me, and we have another piece. What about this strip of my intestines? That cocks his head as you hold up your intestines, and he suddenly swoops in and snatches it from your grasp. Holding it, he strings it between two hands, like rope, and he to himself. Watch the intestines steam as he holds them, burning black. Feel a slow burning pain in your abdomen. Ignus strings out the intestines, handspan by handspan, as he lets each length fall from his grasp. Starts rotating around him like a spiral, snaking in a slow pattern, each portion being roasted by his flames. There seems to be some dancing pattern to the way the flames are touching the stripe of intestines, slowly blackening them, until it looks like a long string of charred meat. Burning in your abdomen makes you wince, but it's nothing compared to the pain you felt when Ignus charred the other portions of your body. You watch your burning guts spiral in Ignus' flames, and suddenly they gutter out. They fall into Ignus' hands. If they hiss, throws them to you, much Mortals, organs. Take the chart intestines.
Updated my journal.
You hold your chart intestines in your hand. They look like a blackened robe. As hovers above you. Tiny motes of ash drifting from this burning, emancipated frame. Are willing to suffer. And at this point he kinda has nothing more to teach me. It's usually the point when you kinda drop him. Mostly because, well, he has done his job. He has taken everything he can from you. And, that's basically it. That out of the way. I mean, honestly speaking...
Ignis hears you.
He's not really that useful. He is a mage, basically. Or pretty damn obvious. We already have a mage, of course, which is Narcon, who is a okay-ish mage. Let's copy all of the spells. Get that done. And apart from that... Oh yeah, I also bought a pet Lilem. Talk to item. There's a reason for that too, because you can actually do something very interesting with those little things, if memory serves. I don't remember how exactly, but I do remember that I think it's actually in the brothel that you need to go. Now then, we shall go over, be like copy spell. This spell is already in. We succeeded. Okay, so that is out of the way. Ignis. See, he's a mage. Darkon is a fighter mage, and I'm right now a mage. So technically speaking, we have, if one thing, too much in the way of mages. Now, I want to talk to Darkon to become a fighter again.
What is your will?
I will know. Teaching. I wish to give up my current profession and resume the study of the weapon craft. And you train me. Very well. Alright. Now I have become a mage again. Mm, 2 to 8. 3 to 12. I mean, those are just by base damage value a lot better, aren't they? Well, now that we have that out of the way, the next goal we have is
Done.
oh, the brothel, isn't it? And since we can't really go anywhere out apart from that, I mean, technically we can go out here. If things work out that way. So now we're going to go into the brothel, but not, of course, for anything such
All right.
mundane pleasures could give me. Of course not. Who would want that? We're in for a whole other thing, aren't we? Hello, brothel.
I'm gone.
Hey, there is another one. Fall from Grace. One of my absolute favorites because she's a bit of a funny one. In a very special way. And again, there's Mortar, and Mortar is always awesome. But let's talk a little Fall from Grace. Before you is a stunning golden-haired woman dressed in an azure and violet dress, with two long, elegant wings dropped across her shoulders. She's surveying the room with a slight smile. She's easily the most beautiful woman you've ever seen. Greetings. Excuse my drooling.
Well met, traveler. How may I help you?
The woman turns as you address her. She takes your measure, then not slightly. You notice her eyes are azure, the exact same color as her dress. Reaches up to brush back a stray lock of golden hair. How may I help you? Who are
Updated
you?
my journal.
I am called Fall from Grace. She studies you for a moment. You're new to Sigil, are you not? Yes, I am. Does it show? Not as much as you might think. You carry yourself quite well. What is this place? This is the brothel of slating intellectualists. He studies you for a moment. I take it by your question that you did not intend to partake of this establishment. Brothel of slating intellectualists. What kind of brothel is this? I established this brothel to give those lustful fevers that strike the mind more avenues of expression, other than the simple carnal ones. Much pleasure can be had in conversation, engaging in the verbal arts of others. But there's also the very classical way of just doing the physical thing, you know? And what it like sounds though. Indeed it is. I assure you it is not. Through the brothel, see for yourself. So this is a brothel, where there's no intercourse. Basically, yes. Well, but the more pressing question is, why don't you feel the need to establish such a place? Apart from which raises an eyebrow. That is an odd question. She frowns. I don't think anyone has ever asked me that, at least directly. Oh, why did you? Part of the answer to your question requires that you know that I am a member of the Society of Sensation. Faction believes that one should experience as much the multiverse as they can. And that is why you established this place. This brothel is intended to slate the lusts of even the hardened intellectual. It is designed to stimulate the mind, to heighten one's awareness of themselves and others, to create new ways of experience another person. It's for those who seek something more than the shallow physical pleasures that fill the hive at lower wards. Well, I wouldn't call them shallow. I mean, I can understand that. That woman here must be special indeed. Women here are aspiring sensates. They have come to me in search of instructions. Prepare themselves to enter the factions. Oh, so many of them have a natural grasp of language that can shatter the crust of most hardened individual. Sensate, she was lately. Yes, I'm a member of the Society of Sensation. Our faction believes that one should appear in the manner of multiverse as possible. And the girls here are training to be sensates. Yes. I hope that by learning the art of language and its subtleties, the patrons and the students here may learn more about themselves. And one is only as limited as their command of the language. Here to employ language to evoke emotions in others. It's tremendous skill. I see. Can I ask some other questions? If I may ask, Lady Grace, the wings on your back are not human, I take it. She's one of our fiends, one of the succubi she's. Take your mirror, and she'll take your soul to the lower planes. So she will. The companion is correct. I am a lesser Tanari. More specifically, a succubus, he gives us off time. I'm afraid we're a little too common in the lower planes and elsewhere for our own good. Most of my race spent the time sending mortals with various pleasures of the flesh. You
Updated my journal.
and like to think that I have distanced myself from that. It is ultimately a trivially and non-productive way for one to spend one's time here in the multiverse. Much more to life, wouldn't you agree? Perhaps so. I'm familiar with the name. Rumors cluster thickly about that name. Most tend to discount her as a myth, but I suspect that she did exist and that she made quite an impression on the page during her stay here. Why do you ask? I intend to seek for the good old Ravel. Truly, find myself compelled to ask why. I need information. Available from no one else. I suspect that only Ravel possesses the knowledge I need.
Updated my journal.
Consider this, if Ravel does indeed exist, then she is extremely powerful and cunning. A fraction of the stories of her activities are true, and she is a creature that has discovered new meanings of evil. To search for her is not a quest to be undertaken lightly. I do realize that somewhat. Do you know anything about Ravel? You are said to be one of the hags of the Grey Waste, and that she was believed to possess powers and a cunning far beyond those of her sisters. She came to Sigil long ago, and in addition to the evils she committed during her stay, the rumor has it that her actions threatened the cage itself. Or she primarily exists only as fiction, a figure in children's stories. Imagine the Lady of Pain dealt with her as all threats to Sigil are dealt with. How so?
Updated my journal.
Ravel was most likely sent to a maze, one of the Daisy's prisons. Mazes,
Updated
what are
my
those?
journal.
Time between is touching, forming a rough circle. The lady is said to have the power to take pieces of sigil. You watch in surprise as a ghostly image of Grace's little finger pulls itself from the hand and floats into the air, turning into a small circle, and make a maze. Go on. The small ghostly circle floats in the air, and then begins slowly rotating. The piece of sigil she takes holds the prisoner. There's no escaping being mazed. It can happen at any time, while walking down the street, through a door. She claps her hands. And then, you are somewhere else. Like the ghostly circle, you can suddenly see a flicker of movement. Like someone walking inside. Go on. Grace continues. The tiny ghost maze reflected in her eyes. It is said there is a portal that leads out of each maze. They are difficult to find. Perhaps they are left in to give the prisoner hope. Perhaps they are left in to torture the prisoner. Perhaps it is both. I see. Can you tell me more about the plane that Ravel is from, the Grey Waste? Blighted plane that lies effectively between Bator and the Abyss. There's frequently a battleground in the Blood War. You know what happened to Ravel? Anyone else might know. Someone in the Fist Hall might know about her.
Updated my journal.
Came here looking for help. Perhaps you can help me. Yep, what kind of help are you looking for? I seem to have lost my memories. In so doing, I've lost myself. You have been stricken with amnesia. Looks bad. How terrible. Do you have any idea what happened? Well, not really. At least not that I can remember. I woke up on a slab in the mortuary, and everything before that is black. I woke in the mortuary. I think the dustman mistook me for being dead, or was dead, or something. All I know is that I regenerate wounds quickly. Could be mortal. I don't even know that for sure. Powerful Grace seems to be appraising you with renewed interest. These scars on your bodies. He reaches out a hand, said to touch you, may I? Sure. He drags a finger across your chest lightly, tracing the edges of your scars and following the curves where they blend into some of your tattoos. You seems fascinated. These scars do look as if they would have taken several lifetimes to accumulate. They certainly do, though some are more recent. Some of those wounds have been fatal to a normal man. What do you intend to do now? Need to get my memories back and my life back. I intend to scour the plains and search inside myself until I can piece together who I am, what brought me to this state. I must say, I've never met a man who had lost himself in a literal sense. Forgive me, but your condition is intriguing. It is that. It will help. You're welcome to tour the browser. Several of our students are well versed in the verbal arts. Perhaps some of them will be able to rekindle your memories. May you do that.
Updated my journal.
Say, would you like to join me on my travels? Anna stiffens and starts muttering under her breath. Who's to say she'll be coming with us? We don't need the likes of her. So don't. That feedling multiplies his teeth together. I'm all for the succubus coming with us. The powers now here are about as fun as piercing the caltrops through your bolts. Best let your bone box, girl, or I'll rattle you so hard you'll be picking a thief off the spire. Travel with you, Gordon Gray smiled slightly. She seems to be ignoring your companions. That's rather forward of you. How are we gonna make this again? Let's be honest with my nature, you seem extremely pleasant and well versed in the ways of the plains. A friend of that kind of knowledge would be welcome. Hey, wait a minute, I'm the one well versed in the plains, that's my job, Chief. Having two people knowledgeable about the plains in our band seems pretty smart to me. Besides, I said pleasant too, Mortar. Pleasant on the eyes, maybe. Looks to me like all some chit has to do is show a little skin and you will sign it right up. Mortar falls silent. Not that I meant it, really. I just thought I'd mention it. Noted, Mortar. Noted indeed. Look, Lady Grace, excuse me if I'm being too forward, but would you care to travel with us? I appreciate your candor. I shall counter with some of my own. Why should I travel with you? You mean you wouldn't be interested in traveling with an immortal amnesiac who is searching the plains for himself? I mean, come on. I would be extremely interested. Oh, I see. She smiled slightly. Such a suggestion is intriguing. Make no mistake about it. I would like to travel with me then. If you wish me to, then there is something you must do for me. There are 10 students in this establishment. I would like you to speak to all of them. Then return to me with your swords. We shall see if we shall travel together or not. Very well, I shall go and speak to them then. I will return when I've
Updated
spoken
my
to all
journal.
of them. And of course, as you can imagine, it's not gonna be this easy. Because amongst the many, many things in life, oh yeah, I remember that one. Oh shit. This is gonna become a bit of a problem. Now there are students here. I, for once, do not really remember though. How and which direction to do this. You have to be a bit careful here because mostly there is basically a bit of a set of quests going on here. You kinda don't want to mess that up. Nico, I think you're the one who lost your voice, aren't you? I think I remember you. In that particular regard. Then there's also the whole area of their stuff missing and you kinda need to find the thief and... I remember the proposal because you spent an assload of time here.
I'm gone.
Nice statue. The greyish red stone held in a mesh of engraved silver bands pulses with light. Something was once inscribed into its base. Writing has been scurried away.
Updated my journal.
Found a hidden chamber beneath the brotal. It contained a number of glowing stones. 10 in fact. One of them was blank. Something had once been inscribed upon the base. It had been scoured away. I think actually that is one way of doing it. Just indigo stone held in a mesh of engraved silver bands. Pulses of deep blue light inscribed into the bases here. Ah yeah, this is basically the list of the 10 students. It's a bit of a tricky one. Because kinda what's going on is she says there are 10 students. And there are only 9 names engraved here. Why is that, you might wonder? Because, of course, you are. Indeed, the 10th student. Pretty obvious thing, if you ask me. That statue though looks kinda unstable, isn't it? I mean, depending on what material it's with, if it's stone, then that thing is going to be heavy as fuck. Now if you have something that is quite clearly top heavy, excuse the joke, that the hips do look somewhat impressive, and you only have such thin little legs, then that's probably not the most stable construction, now is it? Guess I'm serious. Alright, one of them is actually a, what was it? Daughter of Rubble, I think? This Kesai Serari's thing is rumored, maybe, to be one daughter of Rubble. Man, looking slightly puzzled, not at your approach. Greetings, sir. I'd ask how you come to be here. Well, I came down the stairs. Must work on concealing it a bit better then. The Russell caretaker, by the way. You're not supposed to be down here, really. Just alright if you look about a bit. Questions? I shouldn't even allow you down here, let alone be chatting with you. Please, no questions. Well, tell me what this place is, at least. So the lazy chancery stones are kept. They used them as diaries of a sort. You won't be able to use them, if that's what you're thinking. Each of them is attuned to one particular student, so that only she may access that stone.
Updated my journal.
Die Maxi-Adertung. Well, yeah. Now, the problem is, these are the 10 students, well, rather 9 students of this place, and they have problems. And you're supposed to talk with them. And you're going to also have to find out that there are only 9 of them, and who the 10th is, basically. Which is... it requires a lot of talking, let's just say. And that is also why I kinda... try to keep away, I guess, from this place for a while. I need to remember... Because The game is a bit finicky, I remember that much. I mean, technically it's the enhanced version, so I don't know if that is still a problem, but could quite easily
This will one day kill you.
fuck up the quest chain inside here. That much I remember, and that required a lot of then loading and reloading and redoing stuff, and that gets fucking boring after a while. Which is why I have, in all my wisdom, actually looked up a bit of a more detailed guide than what I have written down about this part. So I don't fuck it up and we have to redo this over and over again. Because, let's be honest, that would not be fun for anyone. Myself involved. Also, we kinda want to have, you know, Fall from Grace become a teammate. So, let's make a safe game before we fuck everything up. And then I will actually have to look. Right, there's actually one more thing we can do with Grace before I start with
help you?
that. I had some questions. Tenant skills here. Can I actually ask her now already? Don't think I can. It's kinda sad. Because I know you can kinda talk with her about good old Morty here. At which point she's kinda gonna be like, huh, he claims to be something he's most definitively not. He also smells kinda like the lower planes, so... Morty? Hiding a bit there. Now, let me see here. Okay. Starting with the most fun one. This is Amura. As in, you know, that's basically a fucking closet. To make a search the Amura, its handles suddenly yank out of your grasp as the drawers slam themselves shut. Disdainful issues from the cabinet. Hello. Hello indeed. The Amura gives another humph. So what have we here? A rook after some ladies' frilly undergarments, You talk. Do I? Well, yes, I do. Pretty obvious question, but alas. Who are you? I'm Luis. And who are you? Thoughtless, uncool fellow. Rummaging about in other people's things. Never mind that. What are you doing here? Well, sir, if you must know, I am being an armorer. Why? My deed. But why are you being an armorer in this brothel? I happen to have become an armorer because I want to be an armorer. Thank you very much. It's not to watch the ladies undressing, nor to have them place their soft, sweet-smelling undergarments in my drawers, where they can rub against my skin. Such accusations are an insult to a practitioner of the magic arts. I'm merely soaking in the experience, what it means to be an armorer, besides the smells, the sensations. So all the women know about this then? Yes, yes they do. They both heartedly approve of, well, not with their entire hearts exactly, and while they have not spoken of their approval in my presence, since they are not exactly aware that I'm an armorer, I would not want them to know that I'm anything but, and so have not been able to inquire upon the matter. Which basically just means that he is a fucking mage who has turned himself into a closet so that he can watch ladies undress and play around with their undergarments. And as he just very kindly admitted, he has kind of failed in informing said ladies of his presence inside, or as being a closet. I had some questions. So, why are you being an armor disposal? Okay. Alright, can you return to your normal form at will? Yammer seems to think about this for a moment. I have no need to share such secrets with the likes of you. There's no cause to change back to the present moment. I have not yet experienced the full sensations of being an armorer. Right? Just a complex thing. Cold and sword, soft, frilly closes, smelling of wondrous woman smells. Crosslegs open and closed, the sound mimicking a pleasant sigh. Amongst the many strange things in Sigil, you meet the one person who would like to spend the most of their existence as a fucking closet. In a brothel. That is, technically speaking, not a classical browser, because it is there to slate your intellectual lusts, but still. Can you tell me about this place, please? I would have a man find out for himself, rather than tell him the whole of it. After all, it's half the joy of the entire experience. I want to tell you that which you likely know already. It's called the browser of slating intellectual lusts. Prostitutes within specialized in the arts of language and communications. Yes. Hey, do you know anything about, Ravel Puzzlewell? You folks, for any length of time don't. Must wonder though. This is about her you wish to know. Well, I need to find her. You're Matt, Quite Matt. Utterly balmy, I believe. It's a common term for it. Ravel was banished from Sigil long ago, and if she's not dead, you'll wish you were, should you somehow succeed in finding her. She devoured all those who sought her out before, it is said, and will likely do you the same disservice, but leave well enough alone. Yeah, if that were an option, but then again, without memory and the other interesting ability of being undying, I do have some questions that I would like answered. Also, I'm probably not that worried, generally speaking. Juliet, eh? Is this going to be yes? This is going to be yes. Of course. Going by the name alone, this is going to get all Shakespearean, isn't it? A stark-haired young woman, staring listlessly off into space, sighing miserably and occasionally picking at the seams of her green velvet gown. Difficult to discern whether she's depressed or simply bored. Greetings. Salutations, all the nice things. Now talk to me. She gives you only the briefest of glances before staring off into the distance once more. Greetings, yes. I am named Juliet. How may I... Never, though mind. Leave me be, please. Oh, what's wrong? Come on, talk to me. Nothing at all. Only to spend my days gazing into the face of mediocrity, seeing if anything can erase its dreadful, tedious passage. Is your life so tedious, then? Alas, it is. She sighs, closing her eyes, massaging her temples. Dreadfully boring. Well, I'm certain I could add some excitement to your life. Wink, wink. No. This kind of deed to offer, though, I'm not ready with a man, sir. I do love him dearly. Just that I wish... something more of our liaison. Is the relationship lacking, then? The only thing it lacks is excitement, sir. Families took the news of our courtship splendidly. Siblings love my siblings, and our friends think our union to be blessed by the powers themselves. All fine and good, but things are going so smoothly. It's not right to have such a trouble-free courtship. Well, that's a new spin on the whole Romeo and Juliet thing. It's like, well, everything went splendid well, and now I'm bored. Dost thou not? Hast thou ever had such courtship? He glances briefly at you. It would seem that thy life is filled with a variety of problems, judging by the pallor of thy skin. Come on, bitch, please, look at me. I'm full of scars and tattoos. Do I look like I have anything but problems? Can't remember any courtships I ever had. The remnants of the ones I have encountered suggest that I may have had some problems. Just slightly, mostly because, well, there is a dead or ghostly or something else. It's just all my friends have such interesting relationships. Once fucked with turmoil, fighting families, daggers at one another's backs, poison, mad siblings, and irate fathers with large swords. I have a lover whose family lost me and whom the world loves. Great source of annoyance. How I wish... 4 minutes some way to spice things up. What if Lord goes with him? Sorry for her lover. Doesn't know how bad he has it. Shit, like this is nothing but trouble. He is nothing but trouble. So what do you have in mind, little Juliet? I'm not sure. Some element of danger. Or jealousy. Something intense. Okay, let's not go the old way for an affair. Why don't you make up some fake love letters from a hidden affair? Excellent notion. Most excellent. But he knows my handwriting. Wilt thou write some for me? Not my sort of thing. I can find you some, though. Oh, wouldst thou? Excellent. Thou dost find some? Please give them to my love. Montague. May be found within the Civic Fest Hall. For the letters, please try a scufflaw pen. He runs a print shop in the lower ward. I think the...
Updated my journal.
Pain in the ass. Well, but since this is one of the more easier quests, let's actually get that nonsense done, why don't we? Honestly though, the browser takes a lot of time. where the fuck was the other one? The Fest Hall is up there, and the other one I'm looking for. I don't think it was on this map.
Alright.
Well, doesn't really matter. I'm sure I will re-find it. Oh, shit. Before we do this, I wanted to go in there and be like, here, take what exactly? Alright, I have nothing in my hand. No, then. At least this is a particular easy, excuse me, quest.
I'm gone.
It's just that every single lady in the brothel has something or other to do for you. And that's a bit much to do, putting it mildly. It takes a lot. Well, if it isn't the devourer of time himself. You actually want something this time. I have questions. Do you? I could print up a love letter for me. A love letter, eh? Fine, it'll cost you though. It's cornered doorway, 100 coins. You look desperate for this. How about a discount? Fine, 50 zip coins. Take it or leave it. I'll take it. Takes your money, thinks for a moment, and selects a perfumed sheet of paper from a drawer on the desk. He scribbles a few anxious, love-struck lines on it in flowery, elegant script. This will do, I'm sure. I mean, that was pretty fucking easy. That print guy really is good at his job. He's not only just printing, copying, and making basically everything that you can make with paper, for, you know, every bloody purpose. He's even good enough to instantly, without much thinking, gets you a nice and somewhat believable fucking off letter going. It's impressive. It takes some skill. I'll tell you that much.
Done.
Now then. There's so many people around here. Fest Hall. I'd kind of forgotten about this, but yes.
I'm gone.
How could I have forgotten this? I mean, you can say many great things about this game, but when it plays its music, it's kinda likes to go all the bloody way. It was quite fun, honestly. Oh well, Descent Fates. Basically a bunch of people who just want to experience as much as they can under the sun in all of the planes. Which, as you can imagine, considering that we're talking about all the planes, is an assload of things. Good, bad, and a lot of in-between things. All the pleasures in the world would not be enough to sate their appetite, though. That's a bit of a problem. Not yet. Whenever I see something like this, it's kind of like, yes, I want to take whatever you have there, but I kind of feel that I'm going to get into trouble with that. At some point or another. Montague, hello there, little Montague. This handsome young man seems lost in thought, his brow furrowed, his knife thrown upon his lips. Greetings. And to thee, sir, hail, what dost thou wish of me? Are you Montague? I need to speak with you about Juliet. You gives a puzzled, slightly suspicious look. Hey, over to speaking to Brussels. She's having an affair, you know. Who speaks falsely? I would have thee present me proof before I took thy claim as true. I also found his letters. Here, read them. Takes the letters and reads them over. Alas, 'tis true. He has found another who loves her passionately. Heartache is a sensate's fate, I think. I shall move on to another love and let this other suitor have her, considering the passion of his words. Wait, that was all a ruse, eh? What is this thou speak of? She's trying to trick you into being more passionate. Why did she not simply say something? That's actually a good question. I don't think it's really occurred to her. Apparently not. What should be done now? Turnabout is fair play, you know. I say ignore the shit. Act distant and unconcerned. That'll spice things up considerably. Water. Truly. Trust me, kid. Start ignoring her. Create some frictions. Leave him wondering and they'll be clawing all over to discover what the matter is. Right, Chief? Yes, she'll think something's wrong, and for once, she'll be playing the game rather than being the target. I like the sound of that very much. Good luck. I hope it works out. Yeah, thee will. The farewell to thee as well, sir. Things to attend to. Should we meet again? Might speak more of the matter. Until you both in turns to go. Love advice from a skull and a man who looks like he... Yes. Has more experience with, you know, the business end of a knife than... Well, to be fair, I wanted to go somewhere else, but really the joke goes about the business end of a woman, you know. Let's not think about that too deeply. It was always a very poor joke.
All right.
Oh, back to Juliet we go. A bit of a new take on the whole Shakespearean thing. Going like Romeo, Juliet. She's like, well, I'm bored because everything is perfect. Well. Montague seemed disinterested. I found him saying he was bored with things in any case.
Updated my journal.
That looks shocked. He said, what? How could I have been so? Oh, I would appear as if my relationship had the troubles I so desired. I merely missed them in all my melancholy. Perhaps. I have some questions now. Oh, go on, if thou must. What are you doing here? I'm here in preparation to become a sensate. Mistress Grace is our teacher. All the prostitutes here are students. Sensate. Mouth to society with sensation. Affection devoted to sensation and experience. Which makes a lot of sense that somebody like that would be in a brothel, because, well, yes, you will experience at least the most basic of pleasures in a brothel. Of course, they need to make it complicated. And instead of going like, well, we are just doing the exotic, the maxi dance. No, they're like, well, we're going to slate your intellectual lusts with conversation. I'm sitting here like, great, I'm going to pay for people talking to me. Can you tell me about this place? Brothel. This is a school for aspiring sensates. More qualified to answer this question than myself. Mayhap thou wouldst rather speak with her. Do you know anything about Ravel Puzzle? Ravel Puzzle what? Who? Juliet appears perplexed. Is this truly someone's name? Whoever it is, he might know of her. She knows myriad tales and can likely tell thee of this Ravel. And I don't think you have anything else to say. I don't really think so. Never mind then. Let's go to the next one and see what sort of situation we're going to find there. Actually, where the fuck is... I think I'm missing somebody. I think there should be somebody else. Where is that woman? Ah, for fuck's sake. There should be someone here around that I'm looking for. Because as I kinda mentioned this before, but there she is. There is an S-load of quests basically here, and you kinda don't want to mess them up overly much, because some of them are actually somewhat intricately connected to each other. This tall, elegant woman with her sharp features and regal demeanor is a striking example of aristocratic beauty. Her clothes appear to be spun of silver thread. A small phial dangles from her necklace. She is perfumed with an exotic, erotic scent that seems to draw you towards her. Greetings. My nose is getting you, apparently very much likey-likey. She looks you over, arching an eyebrow with what you sense to be disdain. Greetings, my name is Vivian. Am I to presume I am being summoned? I just had some questions. She nods imperiously. Go on then, what are you doing here? Aside from my work as a student here, I'm looking for something actually. Would not happen to have smelled it, would you? Student. Maybe not, looking conventionally bored. That is correct. Mr. Grace tutors us in the arts of language and conversation. The ability to affect another with one's words, and to gain new insights into both of them and ourselves. All the prostitutes here are such students. You asked if I had smelled something. Yes, I have a particular scent that seems to have gone wandering. It is somewhat difficult to keep in one place. I hope that someone did not take it by accident. Though you never know with the ladies around here. She frowns. By chance have you smelled it somewhere? You smell quite nice right now, you know. She scolds for a moment, then smiles at you. Yes, yes, and I thank you for your compliment, but I assure you this particular aroma is nothing to my personal scent. How can a scent go wandering? I had meant to infer that it had been taken. The ladies here are a bit jealous at times, and have been known to take my various perfumes for themselves. This time, though, someone has absconded with my own personal scent. I worked on that scent, perfected it, and now poof, it's gone. Need not be such annoyances. Again stomps their feet. I want that scent back, and I want it now. How would you know it if you found it? But not by the smell, I assure you. It is quite striking, especially to men. Can I help you? I'm certain. I do not wish to impose. No position. Please approach a lovely woman. Lovely, lovely.
Updated my journal.
And I mumble something angrily, catch towards piking and digit stick. Yes, somewhat yes, but then again, it's a fucking brothel, and even the nameless one is kind of like, you know, I would maybe potentially have a chance to get some of those women in, you know, more physical contact range. Vivian smiles and nods to you. You're too kind, very well. If you run across it, please let me know. I'm somewhat anxious to get it back. A one-of-a-kind scent, really. Do you know anything about... Is using a sort of figure? I can't quite recall. Okay, don't... Night tag from digital past. Nobody stays in the past then. Night tags are foul creatures, smirching all femininity everywhere in the plains. Maybe wish to ask Eve. She knows all sorts of particular details. Can you tell me about the place, Mistress Railbosel? Discuss school. Idea of sensation. Yes. Okay, let me see here. This is part of the quest line that is kinda involved with the other ones, so you kinda have to be a bit more careful here. And this is also why this is other pain. You kinda need to get a good amount of experience out of this whole nonsense. Because of course, leveling up is becoming rather more important considering what is to come. And that's why I'm somewhat careful here. Nini, 9 eyes. This petite, attractive young woman, smiling blissfully, turning to herself. White, pale blue eyes seem to constantly drink in her surroundings as she looks about. Greetings. The smiling young woman curtsies gracefully and looks up to you, smiling. Well met, good sir. I'm Nini, and how are you? Ich find. She doesn't notice your scars and places a gloved hand over her mouth. Oh my, you're hurt. All over. Yes, I have enough scars that I should by all means and rights be dead, at least, you know, for 3 or 4 times. What spins around you, mocking the girl's obviousness. I was above, Chief. She's right. I never noticed before. You're covered in scars. Hört nur mal. There are scars. I'm fine. She nods quietly, lowering her head. I had some questions. Huh? You can't seem to tear your eyes from your scars. Oh, how shameful of me. Don't mind my rude staring. I'm named Nini. She makes a little curtsy. It's my great pleasure to welcome you to a brothel of the slating of intellectual lusts. She turns to staring at your body. You have tattoos under those scars too. Watch that one. She points at one of the tattoos. That one's looks fascinating. Look at the way the lines of ink. I think that's ink. She squints at the tattoo and reaches out to touch it. Well, allow her to touch you. I mean, this is probably the first physical contact we have in this bloody brothel, so you know, take the opportunity. I think that's ink. She traces a finger around the edge of the tattoo. Is it ink? What a pattern. Look at the way the lines intersect here. She touches the center of the tattoo. It's simply amazing. Purses her lips and frowns in disappointment. Could make it all better if there weren't so many scars. There's nothing to be done about the scars. They're fully permanent. Oh, I'm sorry. Pox on me for even mentioning them. She cringes. But I have to know. Are you absolutely sure you're alright? I'm looking at you and I can't help but believe that you're not in some pain. Well, none of the physical variety, really. Oh, are you hurt inside? In the head? She claps her hands eagerly. Mayhap I can help. In fact, I know I can. Part of Sensate's training is to learn how to draw hurt from others. My mistress says a Sensate may draw pain from a wound and bring it into oneself. Nonetheless, I can help. May I try? Please say yes. Wait a second, yeah. And what I'm reading is I'm kind of like thinking, wait a minute. What you're saying is the following. You can take the pain of my wound. Let's make an example here of this. So let's say that I cut... make it a bit more direct, obvious. Okay. So I take a knife. I put my hand on the table. And now I ram that knife into my hand. Through my hand into the table. That will hurt like hell. Okay. Now that's going to hurt for a while. That is going to be a very hurtful memory in my head. Now, let's say that you draw that out me. Wouldn't that mean that you will then feel that sad pain? That sounds horrible. For you, mind you. Not so much for me, but for you. Well, but yeah, please do, help me. Any clasped hands and rest them lightly on your forehead. Oh, touch me. As she draws near, you notice Nini's skin is lightly perfumed with the scent of lilacs. She rests her gloved hands gently upon your forehead and closes her eyes. She hums lightly to herself. You feel a faint warmth spreading throughout your body. Thanks, that felt nice. Sure, glad I could help. I had some questions. What are you doing here? Talking to you, silly. She giggles and pokes you in the belly. Just like I talk to all the patrons here. All the prostitutes do. That's what this brothel about. Learning new ways to talk and share experience and understand other people. Can you tell me about this place? Sure can. The brothel of slating intellectual lusts. A school that was started by Mistress far from Grace. The process here, like me, are taught the ins and outs of talking to people. All to help us learn more about ourselves and others. I love it here. A non-stop wave of experience crashing into me, filling my head with fresh new ideas. What a butterspill. I guess it's good that there's something in there. Try to find Vivian's scent. Do you know where it might be? What? Oh, I just can't. I can't say anything bad about anyone. I'm just not good at it. It's not bad to point out a thief, Nanny. But I don't know if she's a thief. So she just wishes you'd leave the topic alone. For fuck's sake. Look, why don't you try and say something not nice about her? Alright. Puts her hands on her hips and frowns deeply, almost exaggeratedly. Resists the temptation to laugh. No, I dislike her very, very much. Pauses for a moment. Looks at you out of the corner of her eye as if gauging your reaction. Was that convincing? No, not really, sorry. Nanny frowns. I knew I wouldn't be any good at this. She looks at you depressed. Do you know how hard it is to say bad things about someone? Feels so wrong. I see you have not worked long in the service industry, my dear Nanny Nine Eyes. Let me tell you as somebody who's experienced in this field. It takes a while when you start out from a very innocent perspective, yes, but after a while you will find that, at least behind closed doors, you will be cursing a storm. Oh boy. I could tell you stories about some customers. I mean, don't get me wrong. The obvious thing is you always need to be professional about it. Sure, yeah. But let's just say I'm very grateful that I have the actual ability to sometimes just, outright tell somebody to fuck off out of my store. Because it is my store. God bless that. Because some people really, really, really just try to fuck with you. For no bloody good reason. And honestly, oh boy. I mean, this is a very special service industry she's working in, basically, but still, maybe at some point in the very distant future when I have some real time and I don't feel like playing games, which is basically never, I will make a whole stream just sitting here and telling you stories from the business end of my life, basically. All of the work stuff. There are some cool stories there, which would probably be rather interesting to listen to. Mind you, and also, of course, some funny anecdotes, but a lot of frustration too. Mostly bound to how customers can be. People always like Karen here, Karen there, but don't get me wrong. Just being a Karen is one thing, but there are other ways to be an annoying pain in the ass. Well, why don't you practice on me, Nanny? Come on. I suppose I could try. You're a big, mean, nasty brute. Meanie. Try hitting me. I clamped her hand over her mouth, looking shocked. Oh, I couldn't. I must. Oh, this one hits somebody anyway. Go ahead, do it lightly if you have to. Remember, I'm a mean, nasty brute. I deserve it. And then he slaps you. You barely feel it. She looks shocked and frightened. She hurt you. Oh, I'm sorry. Did that hurt? That'll be okay. Don't break character now, Nanny. Come on, show me what you've got. You can say something bad. Just let it all out. Oh, there's a tiny frame to its full height. Molds her hands into fists, puts them on her hips, and conjures up a face in a cute scowl. Oh, damned be you! I deserve that for all the indignities you put me through. Going out late at night. I throw him up and down your body, getting into fights and getting all scarred up. What are kids going to think? Excellent. Oh, don't you excellent me like I'm some backlicker looking for your approval. My own woman. This woman's about to walk out of your life unless I get some solid commitment. Alright. Then I'll do you any... Punches you. You're going to be... Take this. She punches you again. And this. And she punches you again. Promptly turning into a little fist favorite. That is just fucking... The mental image. I mean, games like this kind of make you... force you to, use your own imagination to get the scene that they're trying to depict. And in my marriage, this looks horribly cute. Like some small animal getting all... yeah, basically like Kitty getting all puffy and puffy about it and going like, yeah, I'm going to hiss at you now. Because I don't know, I'm sitting here and I'm going to hiss at you because I try to look opposing when I'm not. Okay, time to let go of the anger. Phew, it was easier than I thought. No kidding. And I'm sure I'll do better next time. I'm so excited to learn something new. Thank you. The fact that you didn't know how to let go is interesting. So, I'm trying to find Vivian's. Do you know what might be?
My journal.
Maybe. I saw that mean Marissa sneaking out of Vivian's room one night. I'm not saying she took it, but I know Marissa's not a very nice person. Sure sounds suspicious, huh? I'll go ask her about it. Thanks, Nini. Nini is a nice one, isn't she? A bit simple on one end, but
In knowing the teachings of Zerthamon, I have become stronger.
shut up, Duck, and you know damn well that I just taught you everything you need to know about fucking the circle of Zertimon. Circle of the circle? Yeah, circle. Alright, I kinda wanted to say Zertimon first and then I changed to circle and that kinda meshed up in my head. That's why it sounds so strange. Interesting. A striking young woman, her skin the color of burnished copper, a translucent white dress, held precariously by golden clasps, is draped carefully over her shapely form. Greetings. Woman nods and smiles briefly. The scent of her hair, sweetly perfumed, fills your nostrils. I had some questions. She nods. Who are you? She smiles and curtsies, but offers no response. Can you speak? Shakes her head and smiles sadly.
Updated my journal.
I love this shit already. Can you write then? A pantomime? She pouts, shaking her head. Okay, she kind of feels, well, you can't communicate. She has softly nods. Actually, it must be something else. We can't really do much with her. Echo is... Oh yeah, I think I know how to deal with Echo. You can get her a tongue so she can speak again. And that ends somewhat horribly because you buy a cursed tongue or something. Yes, this is the kind of game we're actually thinking about buying a live tongue and offering that to somebody. I mean, what did we do this episode? We burned ourselves somewhat righteously and furiously, thanks to a little flaming corpse in the background there, who kinda took my good eye and burned that for no bloody reason, because the removal one was not good enough. He burned my hand. Yes, I mean, he took my complete hand, until I only had a stump left. And now I'm thinking about buying a tongue in the near future. And you say anything about this game? It's like, how am I supposed to explain this in a reasonable fashion to anyone? Good question, isn't it? This dark-haired, pale-skinned woman has a cultured, refined look about her. As she turns to you, you note that her eyes, which you had previously thought to be grey, are the color of brushed steel. That's a very colorful description. Greetings, salutations, all the nice things. The woman's voice is soft, calm, and without inflection. It has a certain far-away quality, as if somehow not attached to her. Greetings, I'm called Dolora. May I serve you somehow? In what ways can you serve me, Dolora? She blinks her eyes and touches a hand to her heart. Bowing her head slightly, I'm able to debate any chivalry or academic was the word I was looking for. Meta, quite proficiently, if that is your wish. Also well versed in various games of strategy, should you wish to play something, though I have materials for a few such games here. I see, Dolora, you have not seen me play strategy games yet. I'm a many great things, not necessarily a master strategist, so... yeah. Oh boy. I was hoping for something of more physical nature. It neither intrigued nor repulsed, but answers in the same flat tone. Then you are mistaken as to the purpose of this establishment. The brothel caters to lusts of the cerebral sort, and not those of the loins. You do know that there is a saying about how men think with their lower half, so technically speaking, by pleasing my loins, you would technically still fulfill your original goal. According to rumor. And we make an argument out of that, I wonder. In any case, I can assure you I would make a most unsatisfactory partner. If you're meaning that you're inexperienced, that in and of itself can be a turn-on, mind you. Some people are really into the whole medicine thing. No, why would you say that? As is simply my nature, allow me to show you. She reaches out to touch your arm. Allow her to touch you. Dolora runs the back of her hand along your forearm. Her skin is smooth and dry, but cold, like chilled iron. The touch sends a shiver down your spine and sets the hairs on your arm on end. Do not trouble yourself to ask who or what I am, for I will only tell you this is simply my nature. Very well, you mentioned debating. That is correct. I'm neither a tome nor a tutor. I have no desire to educate my patrons. Should you have a matter to discuss, however, the 15 factions and the effect on sigillant politics, the most effective battle stratagems for warring in Acheron, the meaning of existence itself, I would be most pleased to choose a counterpoint and engage you in debate. Interesting, interesting. That can be an evening-fitting activity, mind you. Choose a topic, see if you can best her. You choose a topic and begin. The debate lasts a long time as the two of you exchange points and counterpoints, each attempting to methodically undermine the other's position. As you speak, a strange feeling begins to come over you. A memory trying to surface. Allow it to surface then. Memories of Great Hall begin to form in your mind. A vast place, full of well-dressed elites. A formal ball was taking place. Before you was a small, impeccable dressed fellow who wore a golden medallion. It was emblazoned with a symbol you dimly recall as the Sign of One. Two of you stood in a circle of onlookers who gathered to listen to your debate. But that's impossible, the man was saying, looking perplexed. Oh, but it is, you recall yourself replying. I've made several inarguable points, given you a number of examples. You simply don't exist. But you can't. Were I to accept that, I'd... Yes, you'd cease to exist. And without a flash of light or puff of smoke, no fanfare of any sort, the man was simply gone. The onlookers oohed and ahed. Some clapped. Remember giving a flourishing bow and walking away, a small satisfied smile upon your lips. You suddenly realized that Dolora is watching you closely. I am feeling well. We might finish our discussion another time. Like, no, let's continue. Dolora seems to be hard-pressed to beat you. She eventually prevails. The infallible sense of logic last bits out. Or even your most brilliant arguments. She seems to take no joy in the victory, however, merely noting approval. You are a most skilled debater. This there is no denying. I feel that, had you time to perform some research, I might not have bested you. Thanks. If you would like, we can debate once more upon the same topic. I could argue your position this time, should you desire it. But I am always so ruthless in the debate. Mr. Grace instructed me to show no mercy. For another of her students always allows a patron to win after a lengthy debate. It was Mr. Grace's desire that to provide a different sort of experience. I see. Could we play a game then? No, I don't really remember any games, so you pick one. Here then, allow me to show you one. Dolora brings out a thin, lacquered box, which unfolds into a small board, marked with a grid. Contents of the box prove to be a number of polished stone chips. Half of them black, half of them white. This game goes by many names. Shall I explain the rules to you? Yes, please. Dolora explains the rules of the games, how the chips are moved, how one's best, one's opponent. It seems somehow faintly familiar to you. The rules are simple, yes? But a great deal of complexity lies within the game itself. It takes a great deal of time to master. Shall we play? Oh boy. As you play, you come to realize that you've done so before. You recall various ploys and strategies that have won your previous games. Trying every trick you know to beat her. Suddenly, a strange feeling comes over you. A memory trying to surface. Allow it to surface. Memories of a smoke-filled field of battle begin to fill your mind. Atop a great hill, overlooking the fighting you set, mounted upon a massive four-legged beast. Braying of horns carried your orders to the troops below. Even as you watched, your forces divided, fleeing left and right as the foreign army fought its way up the hill to slay the enemy lord, you. The fools you had fought, lips curling into a wicked smile. My knights charged down the hillside and stopped their advance in an instant, and at that very moment, my retreating footmen will have fallen to crush their flanks. Ah, yet another victory soon to be mine. Suddenly realized that I was watching you intently. I'm feeling well. We might take up the game another day if you so wish. No, let's continue actually. But the game Dolores seems to counteract all but your most crafty moves, one after the other. Despite your best efforts, you at last fall beneath her well-calculated strategies. She does not smile or gloat, however, but quietly begins to put the game away. You're a fine player. Time I'm certain you could become a master of this game. Thanks, but you will play so mercilessly. Understand, I have some questions. Leonore casts her eyes to the floor, with a sound that might be a sad sign. I'm willing to serve you as a patron, but have no wish to answer other questions at this time. My apologies, but I fear you shall simply have to bear with that for the time being. What is wrong then? Anything I can help you with?
My journal.
She looks up from the floor and into your eyes. Once more you're struck by the pale smoothness of skin and cold depths of her silvery eyes. No, I fear not. My troubles are a matter of the heart. In time I think all things shall be resolved. Are you certain there's nothing I could do? Certain? All pauses of thinking. No, I'm not. My first love, Merryman, possesses still the keys to my heart. So long as he has them, I shan't be free to love another. This is the cause of my melancholy. Why don't you seek him out and speak with him? I may not leave this place. The reasons why are deeply personal and not to be shared with strangers, even those who might bestow a kindness upon me. But suffice to say, I cannot seek out Merryman myself. Well, then I'll find this Merryman and speak to him on your behalf. Laura nods, slight hint of a smile appearing on her lips. She bows her head. Were you to find and speak with Merryman, I would be most grateful. He's a member of the Society of Sensation, so I wish to ask for him at the Civic Fest Hall. Now, the key to her heart, you say. That is an interesting way of saying it. And we have played this game for a while, have we not? Now, if you're still thinking that that is something more metaphorically speaking, then you're probably quite wrong, aren't ya? No, this game will take this quite literally. That's precisely what I would imagine this game to be doing. To put it mildly. Oh, we need to find...
Alright.
See, this is the cool thing. Once this game gets going, it gets going really, really hard with its music. I like it. Also, this is quite fitting for the Civic Fest Hall, for the sensation-loving people. Quite befitting, one might say. Quite befitting indeed. Ah, there he is. Merryman, I see you. Not run away from me. Stock. This man looks like a bitter, cantankerous old codger. His mouth is twisted into a frown that becomes even more severe as he notices you coming his way. Merryman my name may be, but merry I am not. Off with you, young one. No time for the likes of you. He goes into a fit of coughing, the exertion of shooing you away so loudly. Wait, Delora wanted me to speak with you. Merryman eyes you suspiciously. That's so. About what aim, He says that you are her first love, and that so long as you hold the keys to her heart, she will never be free to love another. She told you that, eh? I'm surprised. Perhaps leaving her under Mistress Gray's tutelage did what I couldn't. Started to develop her feelings. In any case, that's pockets on his tunic. I won't just give the keys to you. Wait. Those are literally the keys to her heart. He nods. That they are? The Lord's a construct. Didn't you know that? A creature of sorcery and clockwork mechanics she is, and one of my finest creations. Merryman's eyes, but cold, without emotion or character. I brought her to the brothel and said to her, that she could not leave in the hopes that that the constant contact with so many others would begin to develop her own personality. The keys are the tools used to set her. She wants them because she feels that they are limiting her personal growth now, I suspect. Then why don't you just return them to her? Because I've become a cruel and bitter old man who sees he can get something out of you. That's a fair argument, I guess. Go on then, what do you want? I want to forget. I've lived almost 150 years now. Seen every sensory stone I've cared to in this grand hall. I've little time left to live, and I'm too weak to go out in search of wholly new experiences. I need to find a way to forget them all. That way I can start again in my final days. So, do I just develop you in the back of the head or what?
Updated my journal.
Oh, you bloodthirsty monks. I need something, some item, some concoction that will allow me to forget, like a rod of the river Styx, something like that. Right, I'll return. Now, how does this work? This is the dorm, isn't it? Yes, it is. Now, if memory serves, there is someone here who can help me with this. How did this go? I know that there is someone here around in the dorms that it's a bit of a chore to do this one. I remember that much, and the first time I tried to solve this, it took me a lot of times actually. There she is. Unfulfilled desire. Very important, little one. The woman before you is incredibly attractive. There's some intangible aura about her that makes you want to speak to her. As you step up to her, she glances at you coyly, and she gives a knowing smile. Greetings. You want something? Yes. She says the yes, drawing it out slowly, sensually. Yes. From between her teeth. I can help. Name your desire, the shop provided. Yeah. No. I love the festival. The woman ignores Morte, eyes locked with yours. She smiles, awaiting response. Now, this woman is quite literally called Unfulfilled Desire. Let me point out the following. Whatever you desire, she's not going to provide. Well, I mean, in a way she is, but she's going to take. Then how about we start like this? I want you. She moistens her lips and smiles. You feel your chest lurch, as if someone had plunged a hand into you and was pulling at your insides. A simple request, and I have one for you, traveler. Ask you to tell me, explain to me the way in which you want me. Let me hear your craving. Then I shall speak my price. Well, describe the way you want her. As I speak, her smile fades and she leans forward attentively, as ravaging your features as you speak. The present compels you to speak more than you normally would, and after a few moments, her eyes flutter closed and she gives a sharp intake of breath. Suddenly, your craving for her begins to wane. The desire drains from you completely, leaving only a cold emptiness behind. She opens her eyes again, smiling. There is a certain satisfied look about her now. What is wrong, traveler? Do you no longer want me? No, I don't. What the X you done? She seems perplexed. Whatever do you mean? Despite her innocent manner, you're certain something unnatural has occurred. She has somehow siphoned off your desire for her, stolen it away for some ghastly collection of wants, or perhaps to feed upon. Now it's gone forever. Come now, is there something else you want then? Tell me of it. I best not. Farewell, unfulfilled desire. See? That is quite literally the worst kind of cockblock in the history that has ever been recorded, because she's quite literally taking your whole interest away. Which means there's game over. Quite literally for your endeavors. That is going to left you feel very unsatisfied. Blue ball as hell, basically. And you can't do shit about it. Quite literally not. You're just not going to feel it anymore. Pain in the ass. Now, if memory serves, it's on this side, I think. I think it actually is, yes. Because we need a few mentions. Now there's the Drunken Mage. Yeah, I kinda mentioned the first time around that this is a very bad combination. Mage and Drunk. This older man is staring into his stein of ale, misery etched into his features. The battered pewter mug is an unusual one, lightly engraved, with strange runes and bearded faces, covered with a coat of singed rust. Looks up as you approach him. Greetings, sir. Seems slightly tipsy. Something wrong? He sighs, belches into his hand, and nods as he takes another pull of ale. Aye, something's wrong, alright. I've gone and lost my apprenticeship. Well, hungover I was, and botched. I meant his last experiment. All for this damn drink. He sneers at the mug in his hand, but in seconds his expression softens as he takes another swig. Ruins everything it does. This damnable drinking of mine. Why don't you stop drinking then?
My journal.
He shrugs and sighs miserably. I simply cannot. I want to, but I cannot. I just need to drink. Try and stay away, but desire eventually overcomes me. I cannot resist. Such a wreck I've become. He shows back the last of his ale, calls for more. And this is the whole reason why we started talking to Unfulfilled Desire, because now we can be, to this poor, desiring mage, there's someone you should speak to, Unfulfilled Desire. You can find her in the Civic Fest Hall. Talk to her of your love for drink. You'll soon find you won't want it any longer.
Updated my journal.
Eyes brighten. Truly. I shall go. Speak to her now then. I thank you, sir. Pauses, looking down at his empty mug. Here, I would have you take this. I need it no longer. You can see the rune-covered ale stain.
You know, I've learned some new tricks.
This is very important that you do it in the right direction. Pain in the ass, mind you, but still, that's how you gotta do it. Ah. Now, where's the next part of that quest? I think it's actually in the Art and Curio gallery. I think I need to use the mug to catch something. This one, the Frost Ale mug. Because we are still kind of trying to make a concussion of forgetfulness, so that that poor old Kocha forgets stuff. Now then,
All right.
I think it's here. There should be a sculpture. A special one. Is this one? This is the first one already? I don't. My memory is not that good. I know it's somewhere something in here. There are several shards of black crystal. Ice, but in the freezing wind, this honor paired with force. Each shard looks razor sharp. Touching a word one could be. There is a placard on the dark birds of Orcantus. Catch one in the mug. You dip the mug into the icy wind rising from the pedestal, catching a small shard with a slight clang. Peering into the mug, you can see that the dark bird is a razor-sharp silver, black ice. Only the mug's magical properties prevent the shard from melting away to nothing. Good. And there should be someone I could talk about this nonsense to. Was there? There's a sensate. Yes, there she is. The old woman. Before you is a well-dressed elderly woman in a gown of peach-colored and golden thread. She stands quietly, hands folded together primly, nods in your direction. It's then that you notice that she has no pupils. Her eyes are entirely white. Greetings, sir. I'm Ivana. Welcome to my galleria. Feel free to look about, spending as much time here as you like. If you have questions regarding any of the pieces, do not hesitate to ask me. I have questions. One moment, sir. Your voice. It is heavy with age and wounds. Would you be so kind as to permit me to touch your face? Yes, you're right. Ivana smiles, gently running her old hands over the skin of your face. She frowns, looking slightly puzzled. So many scars, both old and new. They seem to... It touches the side of your throat, flushes. Pulls away. Pardon me, sir. I was curious to see how far they went. It's fine, and they're everywhere. My whole body is scarred. Joanna nods. I had some questions. Of course, please ask. I have a question about one of the pieces. The dark birds of
Updated my
Ocantis.
journal.
One of them are chipped from the great magical sheet of black infinite ice that rests in the black belly of the plain of Ocantos. Anna pauses, tapping her chin. It is said that this sheet of ice is the final destination of the river Styx. That the recollections of all that have plunged into the Styx memory-destroying waters still lie frozen within the ice. The waters of the Styx destroy one's memories. Would this ice from Ocantos do the same? I can only assume so, yes. See? You will not believe how bloody long it took me to find this absolute nonsensical bullshit of a solution. Especially because one of the characters involved in this quest is just a drunken mage. Like, what the fuck, that is an NPC name. An unimportant NPC name. It's not a named one. But yeah, apart from that, she really has not much to say about it. Yes, I cannot see, but only because I don't wish to. Time I will allow my vision to return, so that I can re-experience the contents of my galleria, for the benefit of new fresh eyes. As you can already tell from this, the whole Clark's ward is full of sensate people, which are an insane bunch, to the point that she would do stuff like this. Denying herself vision so she can take a new, fresh look at her galleria. Yes. Absolutely normal. It's absolutely normal. Now, since we now have our little concussion, yeah, we can give it to him and tell him, like, here, bring this nonsense out of this magical muck we have. Full of magical dark bird. And, forget all the nonsense. Give me your keys.
I'm gone.
Yeah, mages. That's actually the only thing in this game that is really, really unproportionally sounded. The effects of using items and spells and such. Well, have you something that will wipe my mind of these accursed memories? I said, nope, you haven't returned without. You'll never get the keys to Dolores' heart that way. Here, take this map. It tolls the dark bird of Ocantos, a sliver of ice from the river Styx. It should wipe your memories clean. Herman takes the mug and removes a piece of paper from his pocket. He tilts the mug back, takes the ice into his mouth. It melts instantly, leaving him with a somewhat startled expression.
Updated my journal.
Merryman looks at you, confused. Then at the paper in his hands, he reads aloud. Congratulations, Merryman. You've begun again. Thank the man in front of you and give him the key in your pocket. Speak to Splinter, the man at the door to this building, for more information. He looks to you. Well, it would seem I owe you thanks, good sir. Here, take this key. It's best to find the Splinter fellow and find out what's going on. Thanks, Merryman. Good luck. And he has just completely forgotten everything, including who he is, who he was, where he came from, everything. Pretty insane act, if you ask me, but that's how those sensate people are. They are after the sensation, and if you have experienced everything you can, the only way to get more is to start anew. Which is right, but still
Right.
fucking insane. Anyway, you look at it. Now, back to Dolores and giving her the key and going like, yeah, take the key. Dolores' eyes flash as she sees you. Did you find him? Has he agreed to return the keys to my heart? Well, yes, Miss Construct, I indeed have the keys to your heart, quite literally. Here they are.
Updated my journal.
At last, she takes the keys from your grasp and brushes against yours. Her skin is dry, but icy to the touch, like cold metal. It will be of great use to me. I thank you. Of course, Dolores, I had some questions. I was hoping to learn more about your nature. Dolores Brinks, Merryman never told me much regarding my construction. I know little of the inner workings of my body, much as you likely know little of yours. Outwardly, though, I am a human woman in all respects, save for the texture and temperature of my flesh. Must that satisfy your curiosity? What about your mind, your emotions? It functions as much a mystery to me as any human's. When I first came to this place, I did not understand emotions, nor have any of my own. I have feelings now, but I am only beginning to understand them. Which is a task you will never ever finish, because humans do not understand their emotions, their more complex ones, very well. It's like ask 10 people for their definition of the feeling of love, and you will get an ass-load of answers, and they're most likely all going to be different. What do the keys do? Exactly. I can only assume the Pyramid made the keys so that there would be no risk of me drawing away from him before I had tired of his experiment. And that they are my possession. I'm free to develop and possess my own emotions. How does your mind work? You do have emotions then. I had another question. How are you doing here? I like this one here. I'm a student. Students are symbols of dialogue and verbal intercourse. Verbal intercourse is such a nice word combination, isn't it? Most of the students will go on to become members of the Society of Sensation, having come to study beneath the mistress as preparation for the faction's initiation rites. You enjoy it here. I'm learning much. This pleases me, yes. She smiles for a moment. The expression seems awkward on her pale face, as if it was somehow foreign to her. Mission to the Society of Sensations. You will do well to seek the answers from Mistress Grace. Can you tell me about it? Yes, I can. The process of slating intellectual lust is a school. Its prostitutes are tutored. Speak to the mistress about more questions. Can you tell me about the silent prostitute?
Updated my journal.
Yes, her name is Echo. Her voice, and affect her every means of communication, was stolen and destroyed. Echo's words once wooed away the paramour of the godling Paramisha. Paramisha, in a jealous rage, tore away Echo's voice, sealed it within a crystal vial, and hurled it into a Megogalamadragismor. Whatever that is, sounds horrible. Echo's voice is forever lost to her. Only another, new voice could return to her the ability to communicate once more. I know this because I spoke to Paramisha's paramour myself once. Strange find Vivian's scent. Do you know where it might be?
Updated my journal.
I assume you mean her personal scent, which she alleges has been stolen from her by one of the prostitutes here. Do not know which one now rests. You may wish to ask Nini, however. She sees much of what occurs here. How could someone's scent be stolen? Vivian utilizes an aspect of the art to create, change, and enhance the olfactory aspects of an object, living or dead. Perhaps the thief knows some of these skills as well. A scent would have to rest in an object. However, not on the thief, but at the case, else Vivian would know them by their smell. Do you know anything about Ravel Puzzlewell? Now that she was, or is, should she still be numbered among the living, a night hag of great power and inestimable evil. The Lady of Pain banished her to an extra-dimensional prison for crimes against the city of Sigil. You would do well to speak to Eves of her. She knows a great many tales and can likely tell you Ravels. Ravel. Well, I'm kinda running out of time, but I will do one more part of this, because we can probably get this done. I kinda hinted and alluded to that beforehand, so greetings again. I have some questions. Is your name Echo?
Updated my journal.
She nods, smiling pleasantly. I ask why you can't communicate. She says softly and nods. Was your voice
Updated my
stolen?
journal.
She nods vigorously, clasping a hand together and smiling at you. Do you know of any way to get your voice back? She shakes her head, face rocked with frustration. She suddenly looks at you pleadingly, as if expecting an answer. I'll swear, I'll look for a way to return your voice. Echo nods to you slowly, smiling at you with eyes full of gratitude. I look for something that will give you a voice then.
Updated
Farewell,
my
Echo.
journal.
And this is precisely when things get a lot more complicated. Oh boy. That's not an easy wow. As you know, this plane... Well, no, let's start at
I'm gone.
another way. This plays in the multiverse of planes, where everything has and can and should and will and potentially has even more meaning. Which kinda means that if you make a vow in this world, you damn well better should be knowing what you're doing, because that will have consequences. I think it actually was here. I think. I think. This sharp-featured woman's appearance is attractive, though somewhat disturbing. With her blue-black skin and bright yellow eyes, she examines you, a small pair of bat-like wings that fold from her back, and seem to settle back into her skin. Well, well, a floating, disembodied Clarificating skull. Dinner's eyes. You're the scarred man who's been going around asking all the questions. She looks you up and down. You sure look lost. You want to come in, really? I was just casing the place because you have nothing better to do. Of course. Rishika, he indicates herself, can help you. How can you help me? I travel and trade extensively. I hear a great deal. I purchase a great deal. And I own a great deal. So I can make you a great deal. Is there anything that you desire? Perhaps. What are you selling? You care to examine the weapons and charms, or some of my more exotic acquisitions. Let's see your weapons and charms first and foremost. Silver earring. Sell. Here, take some of my stuff. The pet dilemma. I actually will... we will see this later. But why I have that in my inventory. Now you can just ignore it and go like, hey, he has something strange. Because I have something strange in my inventory. I don't know about the pouches though. Well, I does not think about that too deeply. We'll come back here to buy something. Yes. And the exotic items. The various shelves in the middle of the shop. If you see something you like here, there are more items toward the front and the back of the store as well. There's a fiend's tongue. That's not a good idea, but mind you. Stained lens. Examine the stained ground glass lens, the white of your hand. Held a brushed C-ring. Small geared protrusion coming off the ring makes it look as if the lens should attach to some sort of clockwork machine. It smells faintly of floral perfume. Is it up for you? I have no idea what this really is, but it radiates fairly powerful magic. An old soldier, and guys brought it up to me from a lower plains battlefield. He'd murdered his own men in order to escape his tour of duty there, and brought me a number of interesting items, collected over the course of the campaign. Kept it mostly as a conversation piece, though I may have it for 149 copper pieces. Let me see other things. Urine-covered Edelstein, Tetraracton, baby oil, Devastiers. More glass were labeled as Devastiers. These were collected from a Deva who was captured during a blood war skirmish. The fiends tormented the imprisoned angel for eons before he had last escaped. This small bottle holds the 12 tears he shed in its time. The price is but 100 copper coins. Let's remember this. And now let's look at this. Examine what appears to be a tongue floating in a jar of brine. Rishka frowns at it. This is a fiend's tongue. A Cornigan's, I think, but who really knows? It said that, placed into the mouth of any living thing, it will give the ability of speech, even if there was none before. Selling this oddity for only 66 coppers, should you want it. I'll take it. I may give Echo back her voice. Yes, perhaps a wise choice. The copper you pour into her hand seems to disappear the moment it touches her palm. She hands you the item. Please enjoy your newest acquisition. This can only go so well. Yes, let us take the tongue of a fiend and give that to that poor woman. I'm sure that is going to work wonderfully. Absolutely not horribly. Yes. Most definitively. Totally not going to regret that one. Nope. 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 Nope.
Done.
Because whenever something from the lower planes comes along that is absolutely wise, make use of it. I'm sure little Echo here will agree with me. Echo looks at you hopefully as you approach her, biting her lower lip. I've gotten this fiend's tongue for you. She raises her eyebrow and gives you a skeptical look. As I would too. I'm told that, should you place it in your mouth, you'll regain the ability to communicate. She nods and takes the bottle from you. She gingerly picks out the severed tongue from the briny solution and, after staring at it for a moment in disgust, understandable, places it into her mouth. Suddenly, her eyes widen and there's a burst of reddish light from between her lips. Are you alright? She opens her mouth, closes it, then opens it once more and speaks. I can speak again, no joy. Then... Damn thee to the darkest of pits, thou stench-ridden worm! Kneel before me in supplication, insect! Yikes. He helps her covers her mouth with both hands. It must be the fiend's tongue.
My journal.
She slowly takes her hand away from her mouth, nodding. It seems I must devour thy frail shell, consign thy soul to the abyss for all eternity. Thou shalt serve in my battle scroll till the plains grind to a halt. Thou art mine, mine, mine. Shut her mouth. Wait, I think I saw a way to help you at your shop. Devastations. They're expensive though.
Updated my journal.
Nods and produces a slip of paper from a cloth. It appears to be a promissory note in the amount of 1,000 commons, which the possessor can collect upon from the brothel. She gives you a questioning glance. Yes, this shall be enough. I will be back with the tears. Because that would otherwise... I mean, basically it's like Tourette, just worse. Because instead of just, you know, cursing sometimes, you're going to quite literally speak the devil's words.
I'm gone.
See, I kinda told you that we would spend a lot of time in that brothel. But not in a good way. In fact, I would try. You spend all of this time working our little ass off. And still no touchy-touchy. Worse than a strip club, mind you. We'll come back here to buy something. Yes. More exotic items. Front, back, where was it? The Devastations.
Updated my journal.
Is recollected, even at Fiend's Tongue. It is said their touch will soothe the most savage anger, even that of a Fiend's Tongue. Smiles cruelly. The price is but 999 copper commons. After 1,000 common promissory note from the brothel. Well, I suppose I can have Standish fetch it later. Very well, here you are. She hands you the item. Please enjoy your newest acquisition. Also, just to put that mildly, that woman is a bitch. Did you see what she did there? She raised the price of the Devastations to an unbelievably high amount. For no other reason than because she's a bitch that wants to make money. Which, to be fair, it's kind of what merchants do. If there's demand for it. You know. And she could, of course, assume that there would be demand for that. After all, I just bought a Fiend's Tongue. Which means she damn well knew that we would probably have need of those tears. Yo, Echo. You are outside of your room. That is rare. I cannot as you approach. A hopeful look in her eyes. I brought you these Devastations. They should soothe the tongue's cursing.
Updated my journal.
She nods, smiling, takes the vial from you. Echo places a few of the sparkling blue drops onto her tongue. I believe the tears are working. Yes, they are. I can speak in my own voice once more. Oh, how I thank you. Echo squeezes your hand, bows her head gratefully, eyes welling with tears of joy. It was my pleasure to help. Farewell, Echo. Hello, Echo. I had some questions. What are you doing here? I'm a student here, as all the others. Prostitutes. We seek to better learn the art of language, in order to stimulate the mind, to heighten our awareness of ourselves and others, and to create new ways of experience another person. What happened to good old fornicating? Please, people. It's not such a bad thing. Well, without the ability to speak for so long, most patrons came to me seeking someone to listen, someone attentive and capable of understanding them that they could speak to, free of interruption and the like. Now that I can speak once more, I wonder if the time has come for me to move on. Leave the brothel and become a sensate. Sensate? Member of the Society of Sensation. Ask for from Grace. Do you know anything about Ravel Puzzlewell? Lost voice. In fact, I do. Not only does she exist, she has children. She what?
Updated my journal.
One of them is here, at times. Yes, Ceres. She's a child of Ravel's, though she is loath to accept the fact. Who could blame her? She was for a moment thinking. I have never gotten her to admit it, though I'm sure 'tis true. Interesting. I'm trying to find Vivian's scent. Do you know where it might be? No, I have no idea. Have you spoken to Ninny? No. See, and this is where things get a bit more complicated. Also, there's another missing item that we need to get made aware of. I have some questions. Yet that Kasai Seris is Ravel's daughter. Is that
Updated
true?
my journal.
Joe heard such a rumor, but I do not know. Perhaps another of the women here can give you the answer. Not Kasai herself, ask Juliet. She and Kasai were once good friends before Juliet made Montague. Juliet, Juliet, Juliet. Little Juliet. Yes, I have questions. I hear that Kasai Seris is Ravel's daughter. Is that true?
Updated my journal.
Ravel. I thought I might have heard that name before. I know not the truth of it, but I have heard such a rumor. Though may wish to ask Kim Maxi Adlerchong the very same question. They are half-sisters, though, see? Are they? Interesting. The plot thickens. Very much so. Now, we have that out of the way, but we still need one more thing before we talk to the other one. We need to find Marisa, I think. What's her name? Squinting at the figure behind the partition, you can barely make out a shapely female form in the darkness. She turns to you, but you can see nothing on her face. Greetings. The figure answers in a voice that is slow and deadly, like a steel dagger drawn across stone. Yes, come to speak with Marisa, have you? Quite rude of you to enter a darkened room. Storming behind my partition like so rude and foolhardy. You can hear a faint whispering sound, like a slight breeze, the hissing of serpents. But I was ready. Whoa, creepy shit. My apologies, my lady. I wasn't sure if anyone or someone or something was here. With a slight, But it would seem there is someone in this room, wouldn't it? Should have been your way then. Not just yet. I had some questions. Ask. Why do you remain behind the screen? Does you wish that I step away from this partition into some patch of light and speak to you face to face? Marisa laughs. There's the sound of scales sliding on scales. Nay, I think not. The darkness suits me, and I hope this suits you as well. Why is it so dark in here? You rent any unwanted and embarrassing casualties. Now what is it that you want? Just some questions. What are you doing here? Sitting here with my thoughts, listening to your voice. You voice yours. The silence of both of them. Literal and figurative. It's deafening. You have such a terrible disposition. You find hissing sound. Because something of mine is missing, and something unwanted has arrived on my doorstep in its place. What's gone missing?
My journal.
My veil, my crimson veil. Have you seen it? No, what's it for? Is it just a normal veil? No, not quite. It aids me in communication. Face-to-face communication it is. You try your face. Enough of this assigned questions. Tiresomely annoying you are. Just some questions. I've told you I've seen sneaking away from Vivian's chambers recently. Is that connected with a missing scent somehow?
My journal.
There's nothing. So, an angry hissing issue from the darkness around her. Yes, I've been known to creep into Vivian's chambers for some of her perfumes, so I doubt you'll meet another here who hasn't. Complaining that I've got her personal scent. Well, feel free to sniff around. You'll not find it on me or in my chambers, I assure you. Perhaps whoever took my crimson veil took Vivian's scent as well. I see, I see. A missing veil, a missing scent. So much things going around. Of course, when something is missing, nannies who we need to talk to. I have some questions. I'm trying to find Melissa's crimson veil. Do you know where it might be?
Updated my journal.
I bet I do. I saw that nasty Maxi Eddertong sneaking out of Melissa's room one night. They're both meanies, you know. But Maxi is really awful. Anyway, talk to her first. See, the plot thicken. Also, what were you expecting would happen if you get a bunch of women all bunched up into one singular building? Of course that would end up with people being nasty to each other, wouldn't it? Now then, where is the Edatron? There she is. Now sadly, and this is what I had feared would happen, I'm actually quite out of time. I started a bit earlier for good reason in this case. It was because I knew this would take quite literally forever.
My blade has changed.
And as you can see, yes, it does take forever. Precisely what you would expect. But as you can see, we have done a lot of things. And so, with all of this plot thickening nonsense going on, and our unbelievably long journey to finally get Fall from Grace to join us, which is, to be fair, going to take a while, I'll admit that much, we don't have to end it here. I shall bid you adieu, have a good one and all that, and I shall be back tomorrow. Maybe I will actually get a bit of an earlier stream going, maybe. Kinda depends a bit on how fast I work, but I won't make any promises for that. Just, you know, as a potential. For the moment though, that was quite interesting. I do love the whole part around Grace, Fall from Grace. It's interesting. It plays a lot with concepts and I do like it. I for sure remember the first time I was around here, I was really, well, getting annoyed with a few things, yes. Also, I was getting really impatient because I kinda didn't know how this whole story would end, of course. But yeah, enjoyable indeed. And even though, while this is a very interesting idea for an brothel, it is as different as you would expect from this place, to put it mildly. Good times though, good times. Yay, Mordron! Alright, but you're dead. Very dead. Such a long list of people we have at this point. And some of those dresses are just... Jesus Christ. But yes. It is not Fall from Grace. It is Fall from Grace. A very interesting character. A succubus that is going a very different way from what you would expect just going off the name alone. The perfect template to tempt a man of any species, any age. She is the proprietress of the brothel of slating intellectualists. Because yes, this game has a nice tendency to completely break with any idiotic notions you might have had about how things are. You might thinking a succubus is just a being of raw sexuality, but no. Technically speaking, they are not really. They are dream demons on one hand, and secondly, they do have a bit of an interesting tendency to take energy. Does not necessarily mean that they need to do that, you know, in the most literal way. There are other ways to slate their own hunger, I would say. Which makes this fucking interesting. This whole brothel is fucking interesting. Also, you know, the background music is actually kind of nice in this room. I do remember that I made myself a save game, specifically here. That was the time when I had not yet any idea how to do it any better ways, just so I could, you know, load it and listen to the music while, I don't know, doing some minor paperwork usually. I have a tendency to do something. I actually still do this until you know, today. I found an area with a very nice background music, and I do sometimes just make myself a save game. Excuse me, that I then load and just sit around and listen to it while doing some other nonsense. Man, just one of my personal little strange little habits, I suppose. Well, but as you can see, I'm starting to ramble, and that is not good. Honestly, this alone, from a pure philosophical standpoint, you could sit here probably and talk philosophy for the next 10 to 20 hours or so, just with this in the background going like, yes, this game asks many great questions about things we believe to be infallible truths. Which is interesting, but maybe not now. Maybe we shall take that opportunity a bit later. This game is still... it still has some length, mind you. We are not yet at the end. I think... honestly speaking, it depends a bit on how you play, but if we continue like I do now, where I'm basically still doing most of the stuff, that we come across, and I have a bit of a plan. And I would say we are probably not yet at the halfway point. We still have territory ahead. Luckily enough. But it is enjoyable. And I actually have something else planned, having I found, but that's a story for another day, I will tell you. Because I actually had to go into the basement, and I kind of found something. I was like, I want to play this, but this is probably going to be a pain in the ass to play. For multiple reasons. A, it's age. B, it's inability to just getting installed right and work right. Which I think I kind of solved that problem, but I would kind of like to make sure that it's actually working stable before I start streaming it, that it crashes every 5 minutes. That would be somewhat, you know, annoying. We shall see. And as long as I don't say any titles, nobody can be like, but you said you would. A bit of a very, very technical move there. Well, but once again, thanks for dropping by. As usual, I am quite thankful for that. It does give this whole thing a bit of a very interesting note. Never thought I'd actually come to the point, but now I'm doing this for, I don't even know, a year or so? I don't know. Quite enjoyable, isn't it? But yes, we shall continue tomorrow in, well, some form. We shall see, we shall see. Until then, once again, have a good one, and